Yo, people, what is going on? Welcome back to another episode of the Pit Stop Lounge. This is episode number 26, and as always, we are your hosts, Jan and Malcolm. Bro, firstly, hope you're okay because last time round, you had a bit of an emergency towards the end of
Yeah,
last week's episode.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. First of all, I'd like to apologize. Sorry for the inconvenience, guys, but I had a bit of emergency. I had to leave. But here now, today, I'm here. No problems, none at all. So, massive apologies for that for last episode. I hope all is well.
yeah.
How are you, bro? You good?
Yeah, from my end, much better than last week. A bit of having a bit of an allergy at the moment because right now it's allergy season. We're in December. Temperatures have dropped to under 20 degrees now. So
It was freezing today, bro. It was
yeah,
freezing today.
it's not just today, but even like last weekend and a couple of days ago, it was
And
freezing.
listen,
So
and it's much needed, man. It's
yeah,
much
yeah.
needed.
I love this kind of weather, to be honest, bro,
True,
because
me as well.
I just can't stand the the unbearable heat in the summer, basically.
But listen, they both have their pros and
Yeah,
cons. I mean, the
yeah,
summer
definitely.
is for the beaches,
Yeah,
nice weather. Of
yeah,
course, it's steaming hot.
exactly.
It's hella warm. But now this around this time of the year, it's warm, it's
Yeah,
cozy. I love it
exactly,
too.
exactly. And with that, guys, let's get into today's episode. Before we begin, make sure, as always, to follow our socials: Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Like, follow, and share. Especially if this is your very first time listening to this podcast, guys. This is a podcast solely on Formula One. What happens on the racetrack, at the paddock, and even outside of what happens outside the racetrack. So make
We
sure to
got we got we
follow
got all
us.
the intel. We got
Yeah,
all the
we got all
intel.
the intel, and regardless if
We
we're
got the
talking about
CIA. We like the CIA out here, man.
yeah, yeah, top secret. But yeah, make sure to follow us on our socials, guys. And for our Spotify listeners, hit us up with a rating and make sure to let us know your thoughts on each poll we publish on every single episode, regardless if it's at the beginning of the season or towards the end of the season, guys. Because right now we're pretty much on. We only have the last race of the season to go. Besides, obviously besides last weekend. So, really appreciate for you guys to follow us on our socials. It means the world to us to hit us with those ratings. And with that, let us get into today's episode. Actually, before we get into today's agenda, bro, your driver of the day, loser of the day of last week's race. Before we get
Yeah,
into that, because you
since
didn't.
of course I had to leave the podcast, I couldn't give my driver of the day my thoughts and all of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
whole 9 yards.
Just get through it very quickly.
Loser of the day. I don't really have a loser of the day, but driver of the day, I'm gonna agree with you on it, and I'm gonna go with Lewis Hamilton
Yeah,
as well. Going from 10th to second, yeah, I'm going with Lewis
exactly.
Hamilton for driver of the day. I don't have a
Yeah,
loser of the day though, but
nice and
that's out of the way. Let's get
yeah.
to it.
Nice and quick. Let's get into today's episode. As always, we're going to start with the news of the track. And we don't really have a lot to talk about with regards to news of the track, but the two pieces of news that we have for today are pretty big, guys, because a couple of minutes after we recorded last week's episode, um, pretty big news broke, bro, because in 2026 we're going to be having a brand new team in Formula One, and it's not
Thank
Andretti,
God.
it's going to be Cadillac.
Thank God we're
It's
gonna
not
finally
going to
get
be
an 11 team. Even though, sorry to
yeah,
interrupt you.
yeah,
Sorry to
yeah.
interrupt you. Keep going, keep going. We'll talk about it. We'll talk.
Yeah, it's not gonna be Andretti because from what everyone thought was gonna be. It is gonna be Cadillac. Cadillac is going to be the brand new team that's gonna make its way into Formula One. Not next season, but in 2026. This news was broke. This news was broke out by the official Formula One page on the social media platforms. It stated that it announced that it has reached an agreement in principle with General Motors to support in bringing Cadillac as the 11th team to the Formula One grid in 2026. It has maintained a dialogue with General Motors and its partners at TWG Global with regards to their entry in the sport, and this was done in New Year's Day, January the first of in January of this year. They over the course of the year they have brought several milestones and they made their commitment clear to bring this team into the sport. And now it's official. They're going to be joining in 2026. And not only that, is we're going to also be having a brand new engine unit supplier. With that being General Motors. Bro, to be completely honest, um, This feels a bit odd. I don't think Cadillac. I don't really associate Cadillac with motorsports, let alone Formula One. What are your thoughts on this?
I think my initial reaction, I'm very happy that there's going to be an 11th team on the grid. Thank God. Thank
Yeah,
God. But that should have been Andretti and not Cadillac.
yeah, I agree.
That
I
should have been
agree.
Andretti, bro. Why Cadillac? Why Cadillac? Of all teams, of all manufacturers, I would have even taken Volkswagen. I would have
Yeah,
taken Volkswagen. Why Cadillac, bro? Why them? Like, okay, they're another American team because Cadillac is a US manufacturer.
yeah, obviously.
It's a US manufacturer, so that's another American team on the grid. Even Andretti was going to be an American team, but that should have been Andretti, in my humble opinion.
And I think
And
Andretti would have.
Cadillac
Sorry, sorry.
my apologies. And Cadillac, just like you said, it's a left field team. It's very left field. That was my first when the news broke out. I was happy, but Cadillac, that's very left field. I mean, what they're gonna bring an engine of a 300C, a Cadillac CN esque model. They have some good cars. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. Cadillac
It does
seems
feel odd.
really left field, bro.
Yes, it does. Yeah, it does because I think Andretti. Because I'm on the same page with I'm on the same page with this one. I think Andretti would have made a lot more sense if it would have been
A
if
lot more
it would have
sense.
been the new team and entering Formula One basically.
A lot more sense. A lot more exposure, and a lot more commercially.
Yes.
And Andretti is one of, you could say, has been a household name in motorsports for
Yes.
many years. Mario Andretti, I believe he had siblings who used to race in
Yeah.
Formula One as well, I believe so.
Yeah.
Not just in Formula One, but also in IndyCar, in the IndyCar series. So they're a pretty big name in motorsports, the Andretti name. Cadillac, they're also a big name, but not as big as Andretti, nowhere near, in my opinion. This is very left field. Happy, very happy, and I hope and I can't wait to see what they can conjure up. But them in Formula One,
Yeah.
I don't know. We've already hearing rumors about their potential lineup, either Valtteri Bottas and Guan Yu Zhou,
Danny
Bottas and Daniel
Ricciardo as well.
Ricciardo, which I would personally go for. I would go for a Bottas and Ricciardo partnership because a team that's completely new to the sport, I think they would really benefit from two drivers with such experience. I'm
Yeah.
not saying Guan Yu Zhou doesn't have experience, but Daniel Ricciardo and Bottas have been around far longer than Guan Yu Zhou.
I'm a little bit on the opposite for that because I think with a brand new team, I would have loved to go. I would love to go for like with a fresh new coat of paint with two new young drivers. But I think I think seeing Valtteri Bottas in that team, I think it kind of makes sense because I think he still has I think a few more years to cherish in the sport. Unlike Daniel Ricciardo, which who for me is pretty much done. Um, uh, I think I would love to go with like with a fresh new coat of paint with the drivers. But yeah, I'm with you on this, bro, because I'm seeing Stefano Domenicali talking about this change being an important and positive demonstration for the evolution of our sport. I kind of get the fact that okay, we're getting more with more car manufacturers into the sport, but again, I would have loved to see Andretti as the 11th team. It's a household name in Formula One. Obviously
It's in motorsports.
it's in
Andretti is in
motorsport, yeah,
motorsports.
definitely.
And in motorsports in general. It's a household name, Andretti.
And obviously, with a new team like Cadillac, it's obviously a risky move to take. You have a brand new team, a brand new, even more so, a brand new engine supply. We have no idea how this General Motors engine is gonna look like, or even sound like, or even how it's gonna be performing as well with the rest of the grid. I mean, we already have half the team with Mercedes power units, bro.
So we
Um,
needed this. We needed
so
this.
yeah, kind of agree that we needed this, but at the same time, it feels really, really odd. It feels very, very odd. I don't. A Cadillac for me I don't associate that brand in motorsport, let alone in Formula One. So
I think they've created some touring cars, Cadillac, haven't they?
no, I think I'm more with luxury cars rather than touring cars.
No,
No,
no, luxury cars for sure. I don't think that did they ever do any touring cars at least? DTMs or
It's
something
not
like that?
not in my. I mean, I could like literally do like a quick search.
I'm curious, bro. I'm pretty curious.
I mean,
Have they ever?
they have a prototype racing car in the endurance brand. But I think that's pretty much it. I mean, the closest that. I mean, besides that, they have some prototype cars. Taking part in like these special test runs. But I think endurance is like the only.
Actually,
Endurance
I
is like the only
think
part.
actually I'm just finding out right now they have a GT3.
Hmm.
They have a GT3.
But it still feels odd in Formula One.
Yeah, yeah, it does,
I'm
it
gonna be
does, it
honest. I'm
does.
gonna be honest.
No, they do actually. They did make a touring car.
Yeah.
They actually did. But
And they have a prototype racing car in the endurance branch in like the 24 hours of Le
pardon
Mans
me.
and Nürburgring as well.
All right.
They have that car as well. So yeah, bro. To conclude on this, I obviously it's great to see a brand new team in the sport.
Yes,
I mean,
thank God.
we're gonna have even more. We're gonna have two more drivers now in the 2026 lineup. And going back to 2026, bro. That year is gonna be big. It's
It's
gonna
gonna be
be
a big
mega.
year. It's
It's
gonna
gonna
be
be
a
a
big
big
year.
one. We said it in previous episodes and multiple times as well.
And that's the
Um,
beauty of the sport nowadays,
yeah,
because every season that's going by, the sport is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Something we love to see, even though sometimes it's not for the best, because at the end of the day, it's all about money.
yeah, definitely.
Let's be real now. Very happy though that we're gonna have another team. It's been a long overdue.
Yes,
Long overdue.
definitely.
Just Cadillac?
Disappointed us on Andretti, to be honest. I would have loved to see
Cadillac?
Andretti. I would have loved to see Andretti in the Formula One lineup. But anyways, it's not our decisions. It's Domenicali's decision.
Yeah.
It's the lads at the Virgin Media Company who make the decisions, guys. So it's not with our head. But
It is what
listen,
it is.
it is what it is. We wish Cadillac all the best. Curious to see who are going to be the two drivers for, lining up for the team, and also who's going to be in charge of the team as well.
Who's
I
gonna be
mean,
the team principal?
who's going to be the team principal?
I
Curious
mean,
to see that.
Gunther Steiner is available, I believe. No.
Nah, I don't think. Let him say. Listen,
He's available.
Let him say for the memes and stuff like that, but just not in the sport.
Gunther Steiner
He's
is
not.
available.
He's not good enough, bro. Let's be honest. He's not good enough, but it's a possibility. It's a possibility, but
He's available.
yeah, but we'll see about that. All right, so that is it with regards to Cadillac. The second and final news of the track concerns Sergio Perez's future in Formula One. Obviously, guys, he is under severe pressure at the moment. He's been poor for pretty much half of the season, and ESPN have published a report that Sergio Perez could actually leave Red Bull next week at the end of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. It could be his last Grand Prix. And if this news turns out to be true, it's no surprise, honestly. I mean, Perez has been underperforming for a long time now. I think it's about time for Perez that he gives his seat to a younger to a younger driver. For me, I think he's just not been good enough this season, bro.
My honest opinion, this just came into my mind, because he's leaving, so he's not actually getting fired.
No.
Maybe probably because even he's fed up with himself with how things have turned out.
Uh,
Probably more or less so. I think.
I mean, Christian Horner said himself that it's up to Perez. It's up to Perez to decide how he wants to go.
I think this has nothing to do with Christian Horner, Helmut Marko, or Red Bull in general. I think this is Sergio Perez. It's all Sergio Perez's decision if he leaves Red Bull or stays. I think even himself, he's fed up now. And to me, as much as we had made fun of him, I still feel sorry for him. It is right for him to leave. It is right, because he is severely underperformed. But I do feel for him still.
But it seems
And
to.
and listen, my apologies. And listen, Red Bull kept him around because he bringing that sponsor money in.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the reason they kept him
Listen,
around.
it seems to me that a lot of people now are turning against him now, guys. Because even like
Bro,
some former drivers of the track.
I was seeing the YouTube comment section. They were going crazy on him. They were going crazy on him. And Sergio Perez at one
Rightly
point
so.
was really loved by everyone. I still like him. Funnily enough, I still like Sergio Perez, but he gotta go, bro. He gotta go. He can't
Yeah.
be beaten by his teammate in a Red Bull like that every week, every race weekend, bro.
He,
Is he really that bad? No,
I mean,
no. He has to go, in my
as
opinion.
a, I mean, bro, as a legend once said,
And if it's his decision to leave,
yeah,
if it's his decision to leave, kudos to him. I clap him
yeah.
off still. I won't make fun of him.
Bro, as a legend once said, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Living enough
Because
to become a villain.
at this point, if the
It's
longer he
both Perez
stays,
and Red
the worse
Bull.
it gets.
Yeah, and both Perez and Red Bull have become villains in this.
Yeah, and now that obviously, if Perez ends up leaving, that's gonna cause a lot of shakeups to the drivers, both in Red Bull.
That's another shakeup, bro.
That's another shakeup because not just in Red Bull, bro, but even also in Racing Bulls, we still don't know who's gonna partner Yuki Tsunoda. We still don't know if Yuki Tsunoda is gonna be there next season because who knows? He might end up in Red Bull.
If Perez leaves, I'm putting all my eggs pause for Yuki Tsunoda.
And even Colapinto, I would put Colapinto in there, bro.
I
Honestly,
put Sonoda and put Colapinto in the Racing Bull.
that would be quite a bit of a realistic move, to be honest. But I think with Yuki Tsunoda, I don't think he has still showed as much as Pierre Gasly when he was with that team yet to be that second Red Bull driver. Listen, I think you may disagree, obviously, but I don't know. It feels really, really weird to see Tsunoda at a Red Bull. Basically, I don't think he'll perform. Obviously, he'll not perform as great as Verstappen.
I sincerely go for it. I sincerely go for it. And I've been saying this. I remember saying when Perez place was still in contention, when it was still on the ropes,
Yeah.
and Ricardo joined Racing Bulls. I did say it that between Ricardo and Sonoda, whoever wins between them will take Perez's seat. Ricardo's out. Perez is on the brink of leaving. Could be.
I think he'll leave, bro. I think he'll leave.
I'd go for Tsunoda. I personally go for Tsunoda. I've been saying it.
And listen, ESPN are quite a reliable source, so they rarely get their news wrong, to be honest. So, I wouldn't be surprised if he leaves, to be honest.
No, I wouldn't. I'd clap him off. I wouldn't make fun of him.
Because
I wouldn't make fun of him.
I think this is worst season at Red Bull. I believe it is.
I think this is his worst
season. Definitely. I mean, last year he won a race.
Thanks to him, both Ferrari and McLaren were in contention. Thanks to him, McLaren are about to win the constructors.
Don't be too confident with that because we still have one more race to go.
Nah. That's yours. I'm not even gonna get into it.
Yeah. Anyways, to wrap up on this, Perez on the brink of leaving. It could happen. It could happen next week. Come the end of Abu Dhabi. It could happen even before. Who knows? I think that could be the end of Perez in Formula One in general as well. Just like with Valtteri Bottas and Zhou Guanyu, I wouldn't be. I don't think he'll get.
Listen, that would be another candidate for Cadillac to consider.
Yeah.
That would be another candidate for Cadillac.
I mean, it's not a bad. It wouldn't be a bad choice as well.
Not at all. Well, it would be Bottas and Ricardo. Why not have Bottas and Perez?
Mm-hmm. It looks like a point of no return for Sergio Perez, bro, with this.
With Red Bull, no.
Yeah, it looks like it. All right, guys, let's get into Qatar. Now, Qatar is one of the most recent tracks in the Formula One calendar. It was only introduced because Australia got cancelled back in 2021 because of COVID, because of the COVID pandemic, and Qatar was its replacement. And bro, I think the track speaks for itself with regards to yourself. You're not a big fan of this track, and even with regards to myself, I think the track conditions are probably one of the worst in all of the calendars, to be honest. And just in general, it feels very needless because we already have Bahrain and we have Saudi Arabia and even Abu Dhabi now come next week. So this really, really feels
it's so unnecessary, bro. It's so unnecessary.
Yeah.
It's just there. It's just there. I don't like it. The reason this track was made was because of MotoGP.
Yeah.
This track was made for MotoGP. It wasn't made for Formula One. Formula One started racing there because of Australia's situation with COVID.
Yeah,
So that should have been a one-time thing. That's it.
but
But
no,
nah,
but no.
of course they kept it around because Middle East and money and sheiks and the whole 9 yards always. And that's the fourth track in the Middle East. We have Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Jeddah, here, and Abu Dhabi. Do we really need Losail?
It just feels like it just feels like unnecessary baggage for the drivers because
Nah.
it's been a long season, and I think this is the 23rd race, I believe, or
This is the
22nd.
this is the this is the longest race. This is the longest calendar.
So this is just too much baggage for the drivers to be. They're obviously going to be tired now because they just want the season to wrap up now,
Yeah.
and it just feels needless. It's not the most boring track of the calendar because for the most part in Qatar we've had some pretty entertaining races, to be fair, but that also is because of the track conditions
It's
as well.
needless. It's needless.
It's yeah, I agree with you on this. I agree with you on this. In fact, I mean with many of my Formula One fans and friends that I speak to regularly, they don't put Qatar as one of their favorite ones. So
Nope.
that really speaks for itself. But obviously, bro, we have to get through this track. Just like with every single Grand Prix throughout this year. Now, obviously, the talk of the town was the constructors championship.
That's where it's at now, bro.
But
That's where it's at now.
yeah, obviously the talk of the town is the constructors championship. The drivers championship is wrapped up. Max Verstappen is now a four-time world champion. So now all eyes are on the constructors. It's between definitely now it's between McLaren and Ferrari. I just can't see Red Bull uh, gaining up on both of those teams. And bro, this weekend, we had a sprint race which was very uneventful. Then we had a race which was eventful for both the right and wrong reasons because
Yes.
it was not without its controversies with regards to the penalties. With one driver suffering from these penalties the most. But as always, we're going to get through the weekend. We're going to start with the sprint race and sprint
Yup.
qualifying, and then we're going to
Let's
work our
go.
way to the qualifying and the race.
Let's go.
Now, bro, with the sprint qualifying, we're going to get through these very quickly because it's mostly familiar territory with most of these drivers who got knocked out both in Q1, Q2, and who made it into the top 10.
Yeet.
To start with the drivers who got knocked out in Q1, um, a bit of a surprise to see Franco Colapinto at the back of the grid in 20th. Now, obviously, Williams over the last couple of races they've been on the wrong foot because of their constant crashes, and I think they're feeling that effect, bro, with the crashes
And
because
this weekend was no different, man.
and this weekend was no different as well. Exactly. So
Unfortunately for them.
yeah, exactly. So Carpinto at the back of the grid, and he was by far the slowest with a 1:23.423. The second driver who got the slowest time was Zhou Guanyu in 19th with a 1:22.948. So the gap between those two drivers was pretty significant. Now, obviously, Zhou Guanyu, no surprise to see him there with the Sauber. However, the race was the complete opposite for him,
Totally.
which we're gonna get to very later on. Esteban Ocon in
Sorry.
8th. So, yeah, no worries. Esteban Ocon in 18th with the Alpine, and in 17th we had Yuki Tsunoda with the Racing Bulls. Pretty surprising to see Yuki in
Yeah.
17th with the Alpine. It's a bit it's a bit hit and miss recently. Sometimes
Especially as of late.
Especially as of late, yes. Sometimes they get into Q2, sometimes they don't. They don't even make it out of Q1. In 16th, we have Sergio Perez. Bro, name me a better love story than Sergio Perez and Q1 exits because right now, I've just lost count of how many times Sergio Perez got knocked out of Q1. Qualifying, he made an improvement, yes, but that's another Q1 exit.
Another, bro. Another. I mean, at this point, I don't know.
It's just not fun. It's just not funny anymore, bro. To be honest, at this point, because
It came to a point where now we're even feeling sorry for the guy.
an acceptance.
We're feeling sorry for
Yeah.
him.
Mhm.
I do feel sorry for him because ever since when he used to race for Racing Point, back then I'm going so far way back now. Racing Point.
Yeah. Well,
It's actually not too long ago. Back in 21, 2021.
yeah.
But it seems like it's a million miles away. Everyone loved Perez and everyone wanted him to
Yeah.
join Red Bull, which he eventually did join Red Bull. That first season was good, but then on, bro, Then on, it just kept going downhill and
It's just a
downhill and
downward
downhill.
spiral, man. It's a downward
But
spiral.
and now this season, I think this season is basically the straw that broke the camel's back
Yeah.
for Sergio Perez.
He's just having a really, really slow death with the team. But I think we just said a couple of minutes ago, bro, with him at the moment. So and even worse,
His sponsor is Kit Kat. They need to give our guy a break for sure.
yeah,
They
he has
really
to.
need to give. They need he needs a break, bro.
My man,
ASAP.
my man needs to have a long ass break, bro. I mean, and even worse, he had to start the sprint race from the pit lane alongside Franco Colapinto. So that made it even worse. And the
And we're gonna
starting,
get to, and we're gonna
yeah,
get to that. We're gonna
yeah,
get to that because that's even the worst part.
exactly.
That's not even the
Oh
worst.
man, I just feel exhausted talking about Sergio Perez at this point.
I feel sorry
At
for
this
him.
point, yeah, but
I feel sorry.
yeah, even I, because I don't want to cause any harm or banter or just wishing bad luck with the drivers. But it's just really sad to see, bro. At this point, it
It
really
is.
is.
It
It
really,
really
really
is.
is, man.
In Q2, again, not too many surprises with Q2. Kevin Magnussen in 15th with the Haas. 14th, we have Lance Stroll with the Aston Martin. Valtteri Bottas in 13th with the Sauber. Alex Albon in 12th with the Williams. And Fernando Alonso in 11th with the Aston Martin. Kevin Magnussen, again, a little bit disappointing, 15th. I think with Haas, especially now, their focus now is getting that sixth place spot ahead of Alpine and Racing Bulls. So they really, really need to get their focus on properly, because sixth place is gonna bring a lot of money, whoever gets that spot
Yeah.
at this point. With that, um, Lance Stroll, again, I'm not too surprised with his talent that he is in 14th. But I am surprised with Valtteri Bottas. That's again back to back now that he has made it into Q2, because I think in qualifying last week he did made out of Q1. So that's a great sight to see for Valtteri Bottas. I think he really is. He's really ending his stay at Sauber, his Sauber chapter on a high at this point,
Yeah.
because obviously next week is going to be his last time driving in Sauber colors. Alex Albon in 12th, far better than his teammate,
Yeah.
who started the race at the back of the grid, at the sprint race at the back of the grid. So that is a welcoming sight for Williams and Albon. So obviously,
Wasn't Albon the one that knocked out Perez from Q1?
I believe so. Yeah,
Yeah, well, Albon that knocked him out by 13 thousandths of a second, was it? 13
13
hundredths
thousandths
or
of a
something?
second. Yeah, exactly.
13 hundredths,
Yeah,
sorry.
13
Because I
hundredths,
always
13 hundredths.
confused 13 hundredths. Yeah.
13 hundredths. And Fernando Alonso in 11th again. I think he wants to. I think for him, he wants to put
He'd be
himself in the top
disappointed
10.
with that. He'd be
Yeah,
disappointed
he
with
he
that,
would
bro.
be. He would be. I think obviously a driver like him, he wants wants to be in the top 10, but unfortunately the car just wasn't meant to be for him. Um, the top 10, Liam Lawson with the Racing Bulls, a decent effort for the relatively inexperienced driver at this point, because he had only replaced Ricardo after Singapore this season, so that's a good effort for him. Um, Nico Hulkenberg in ninth, another solid outing for Nico with the Haas.
I think
During the last race he retired.
isn't that like back to back
Yes,
Q3
yeah,
appearances? That's
yeah,
three in a row, no?
yes, yeah,
That's
definitely,
three in a row.
definitely.
Wow, that's good. That's very nice. That's
Yeah,
very nice
yeah.
for Pierre and Alpine.
He is going to a purple patch, and it is at the right time, because as I said with Haas, Alpine are also fighting for that sixth place spot, and ever since their double podium in
In Brazil,
Interlagos, they are for me they have the stronger they have the
they're
best
the
possible
favorites now.
chance,
They're the
rather
favorites.
than Haas. I'm not counting Haas and Racing Bulls out of the picture, but it looks like Alpine are the favorites at the moment, and Gasly showed it once again why. Um, Lewis Hamilton in seventh with the Mercedes. Again, underwhelming for him. I think for him, he wanted to put himself into the top five, but unfortunately, he just had quicker cars ahead of him, bro, including his teammate as well. So
Yeah.
that would be a bit disappointing for him. Max Verstappen in 6. I think with Verstappen at this point, he has nothing to worry about. He has his fourth world title wrapped up now. I think all he has to do is just see how these he has to see how these final 2 races of the season go. So nothing too concerning for him. Um, the top 5, the 2 Ferraris, Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz in 5th and 4th, followed by Oscar Piastri in 3rd, George Russell in 2nd, and he was very close to securing pole position, but Lando Norris got the better out of him with a 121.012.
That McLaren in the sprint was on smoke, man.
Yes, yeah.
That McLaren in the sprint was on
It's
smoke.
not just on the sprint, but also just throughout the entire weekend in general. Last weekend was a bad day in the office for us because of the track. The track just didn't suit the car at all. But not this weekend. This weekend it was the complete opposite. I mean, we were relatively quick out of the blocks, and even Oscar Piastri, he would be a little bit disappointed because Russell just piped him out by just a few seconds, basically for that second place spot. Because otherwise it would have been a 1-2 start for McLaren in the sprint race. Ferrari, bro, happy
Pretty
or
underwhelming.
not? Pretty underwhelming.
Pretty underwhelming in my opinion. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Even though there wasn't no hype around this weekend from Ferrari or for Ferrari to do really well and could nick off some pretty good points off McLaren for the constructors, but pretty underwhelming to
Yeah.
me still.
Yeah. And obviously this is for the sprint race, it's just for a couple of points. But
Yeah.
I think right now for Ferrari as well, if they really want to get that constructors title, they have to do far better than
Maximum.
they have to push it to the maximum limits basically
Yeah.
to get themselves into the top of the constructor standings. But anyways, that's another pole position for Lando Norris and McLaren. That's another excellent sprint or sprint. Another
That's
quali-
back to that. That's
yeah,
back to back sprint qualies, no?
yeah,
Sprint quali poles for
exactly,
Norris, yeah? That's
yeah,
back to back.
exactly. So, and that is, I mean, that for me, this is like the perfect time to show if you really want to win the the constructor title for McLaren. So now we head into the sprint race, and bro, this might be our quickest summary of any race in general because the action happened on lap 1 and nothing else much happened afterwards. Before we get to the start, as we said before, Sergio Perez had to start the sprint race from the pits. So that obviously made their sprint races even harder, especially for Sergio Perez. But anyways, we look into the start. Um, Pretty clean start. Had Oscar Piastri get the better out of George Russell, and he did the overtake just on the
Yeah.
second turn of the race.
Listen, that turn 1, that was the only place they could make an overtake.
Yeah,
That turn 1. Turn 1 into turn 2.
yeah.
Only 2 places where they could overtake. Other than that, nowhere else to overtake.
And that's another thing that we forgot to mention earlier on in the episode.
Yeah.
There's just not enough overtakes in this track. I mean, on the first
Just
couple of
that
turns,
turn
and
1,
that's
bro.
it.
Just that turn 1. That turn 1, that's it. That's the
Yeah.
only place to overtake on here. For a track that looks pretty wide, it's actually very narrow. It's not worth it. That's a track made for MotoGP, but whatever.
Definitely. And we talked about Max Verstappen having no pressure at all for this race, but he was complaining that his car that the understeering was a big issue with his car, and it showed in the first couple of laps that he lost a couple of places as well at the start of the race. Bro, we have to talk about Sergio Perez and Franco Pinto at the start of the race. You want to go through it because
Bro,
honestly, I have no words, bro. Because it just speaks for itself.
When you think you've seen it all, when you think you've seen it all, like they both started from the pit lane, right? I don't know the reasons why, but practically they both started. Perez was in front of Colapinto, and Colapinto just on the pit exit overtook Perez. Reason being because Perez couldn't fire up the car properly, so Colapinto was impatient. That move was pure instinct. That was that move, and he just overtook him on the pit exit. When you thought you've seen it all, just when you thought, to me, that's pretty embarrassing.
That's very embarrassing, but I don't.
That's pretty embarrassing.
But listen, it's embarrassing, yes, but at the same time, I don't think Colapinto had to overtake in that bit. Or
Yeah, but he was impatient, bro. He was
yeah.
impatient.
And Sergio Perez's sprint race just ended up being just got from bad to worse, bro, because he just stayed at the back of the grid
Yeah.
for the entire thing, and it was so bad that he had to do a pit that he had to make a pit stop.
Yeah,
It's it,
he gonna get nowhere near.
it's honestly that is really really embarrassing for Perez to want to get passed by a rookie. That's number one, and
Mhm.
number two, he just couldn't. He just sat there. He just sat there like a tortoise, bro. Literally.
Yeah, there was nowhere for him to go. There was nowhere for him to go, man.
The dude was helpless. Like the dude was really really helpless throughout the sprint race. But anyhow, other than that, bro, there really isn't anything much to talk about with the sprint race.
Not much. I mean, at the end maybe,
Yeah,
where Norris let Piastri through, so Piastri could win the sprint.
yeah, because that's because he returns the favor from all the previous Grand Prix basically. But
That's
obviously,
practically it.
we did see a few over outside the top five places between the Mercedes and the Ferraris, but other than that, it was a very boring sprint race. Let's be honest, but not for McLaren because McLaren got a 1-2 in the sprint race alongside George Russell, who got third place. The two Ferraris followed up with Carlos Sainz and Leclerc in fourth and fifth, Hamilton in sixth.
Oh yeah, by the way, that's what I wanted to say. That was a pretty nice battle in one point between Hamilton and Ferrari.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That was a very
That was like the only real movement, though.
that was a pretty nice battle. And if
Yeah.
that's what we're gonna see next season from two future teammates,
Yeah,
bring it on.
yeah,
Bring it on.
I agree. I agree. But anyhow, yeah, obviously, with the two Ferraris in fourth and fifth, Hamilton in sixth, Nico Hülkenberg in seventh, and Max Verstappen in eighth. For Nico Hülkenberg, yes, it's 2 points, but for Haas, those are crucial 2 points
Yeah,
because if they
very.
really want to get that sixth place spot ahead of Alpine and Racing Bulls, fantastic for them to get those 2 points. Verstappen, yeah, he underperformed with the under because of the understeering, but honestly, no pressure for him at all.
Nah.
But going to McLaren, fantastic. Obviously, maximum points for the sprint race because of a 1-2 finish, and it was just seamless throughout, bro. No
Yeah, yeah.
issues between two
And
drivers.
the sprint, that McLaren was on smoke.
Yeah, it was on smoke. And honestly, I really don't mind for drivers for both drivers swapping their places at the start finish line. And that was a little bit nervy because George Russell was right behind Oscar Piastri. So
Hey,
God forbid that.
listen, bro,
Listen,
kudos to Norris. He
yeah,
timed that well.
yeah, he timed it
Kudos
well
to him.
because that could have been a very that could have
Norris could have ended up
very
in
badly.
third. Norris could have ended up in third.
That could have ended very, very badly. But thank God Norris knew exactly what he was doing during that bit. And yeah, a 1-2 finish for McLaren and for both Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris. That was such a boost in confidence heading to qualifying and the race. The awards were presented by Kabi Lame. Great to see him there. Great to see him there.
Haven't seen him in a
Great to see
minute
back.
though. Haven't seen him in a minute.
Yeah, he vanished after his virus status. He pretty much vanished in the social media scene basically. But yeah, fantastic for McLaren, especially where Ferrari ended up in the sprint race in fourth and fifth. Pretty underwhelming for them. But I think all eyes obviously the focus obviously was going to be in qualifying. Bro, I don't think you have any thoughts with this, right?
Nah, none at all. None at all.
Pretty uneventful sprint race. I think that's the last sprint race
Thank God.
of the season. Yeah, thanks.
God forbid sprint races, man. I hate them. I hate them.
They're so
Absolutely
needless,
needless. I hate sprint races. Why did they bring sprint races in? So pointless, bro.
Yeah.
But whatever.
man. I don't
Leave
know
them.
either.
Leave them in F2, but not here.
Or MotoGP. Or
Or MotoGP.
in general.
I don't really understand the MotoGP. We'll have a discussion on that any day
Yeah, definitely.
because I really don't understand the MotoGP
Definitely.
quali.
No, but anyway, let's head into qualifying, bro. As usual, we're gonna be doing just like in the sprint qualifying. We're gonna work our way from the back of the grid all the way to who got pole position. In Q1, we had one surprise with one of the Hases, but otherwise a pretty standard procedure. Esteban Ocon in 20th with the Alpine, Franco Colapinto in 19th. Nico Hülkenberg at 18. That's quite a bit of a surprise,
Yeah.
considering how he performs in qualifying normally. Liam Lawson 17th, and Alex Albon in 16th. Bro, with Esteban Ocon again, I think this was a poor day in the qualifying office for him and the Alpine. His teammate fared far better. I think
Yeah,
I think with Alpine this weekend the focus was on Pierre Gasly rather than
yeah.
Esteban Ocon because yeah, you have any thoughts on this?
Especially now with the news broke out that he's not even going to take part in the Abu Dhabi GP.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that actually.
Especially,
We're gonna talk about that later on when we come into the race, basically. Franco Pinto in 19th. Pinto was just not at it this weekend, bro.
not at all,
I
not at
think
all. And even what happened in the race,
yeah,
afterwards, which pretty
yeah.
much summed up his weekend.
Yeah, I think.
Unfortunately for
Listen.
him.
I think for Colapinto, this is obviously when it comes to a rookie. I think these are the days where he has to learn from what has came himself into the sport. So yeah, he will have better days for sure. Obviously, if he is given the seat, if he's given a Formula One seat next season, he will have better days than obviously
Yeah,
last week. So
definitely.
he would definitely learn from this. Hulkenberg disappointing, bro.
Pretty,
Honestly, I think
pretty.
for him, since he is very consistent in qualifying, I expected him to be in Q2 or maybe in Q3, but in Q1, quite surprising for him
Yeah,
to be ending
it
up
was. It was
end up there.
pretty. It was. It was.
Liam Lawson also had a pretty poor qualifying as well in 17th, and even Alex Albon. I mean, listen, Williams in
Both
general,
Williams.
both Williams out in Q1. Um, sad to see, honestly, sad to see with Williams, bro.
Pretty.
How their season has unfolded.
And not good scenes for Carlos Sainz next season.
No, that's not gonna for Carlos Sainz. That's not gonna look pretty for him. But yeah, I mean, next season's gonna be different, bro. So we'll see. We'll see how that's gonna unfold.
Yeah.
In Q2, Lance Stroll in 15th, Yuki Tsunoda in 14th, the two Saubers, Valtteri Bottas and Zhou Guan Yu in 12th, and
Best quality. Best quality.
Pierre
Easily.
Gasly 11th. First of all, bro, round of applause for Zhou Guan Yu
Best
and for two
quality.
Saubers, both of them to make it out of Q1. That's the first time
Brilliant.
it has happened
This
throughout the
season.
season.
And
They
and this
left it late.
weekend, their best was yet to come.
Yeah, their best was yet to come for Sauber. So they saved the best for last pretty much because
Yeah.
now we only have one race left with Abu Dhabi. So anyhow, Lance Stroll in 15th. Pretty same performance with the sprint qualifying. Poor for him, but honestly no surprises coming from a driver like Lance Stroll. Yuki Tsunoda on 14th, a little bit better, a slightly better from the sprint qualifying, but still, not that great for him to be in those Q2 spots. As I said, with the two Saubers, fantastic for them to be in those Q2 spots heading into the race. Um, and Pierre Gasly in 11, not as strong as the sprint qualifying,
He
but
he
still,
he
but
was pretty
listen, not bad.
not bad for him, but he was still pretty disappointed. You could see
Yeah,
his reaction when he
yeah,
was driving
he
back to
did.
the pits. It
He
was
did.
pretty disappointing for him.
He did look disappointed, actually. He did look. Um, in Q3, we had one major controversy to talk about, bro.
Yeah,
Which we're gonna get to very soon. But
yeah.
work our way into the grid. Kevin Magnussen in 10th with the Haas. Again, I think with Haas we've seen some occasional Q3 appearances throughout the season, mostly coming from Nico Hulkenberg, but this time
Hulkenberg.
it came from Kevin Magnussen.
Yeah.
You want to add something, bro?
No. Don't worry, don't worry.
Yeah, no worries.
I was gonna say Kevin Magnussen, but you said Kevin Magnussen before me,
Yeah,
so
yeah, no worries about that. Sergio Perez in 9th, listen, at least better.
that's the controversy. That's the controversy. Done.
No, it's not that. I mean, listen. Let's not be too harsh on Sergio Perez during this bit. But
He made it into Q3. We'll give him that. We made it.
yeah, at least a bit of a silver lining for him. Much better than both the sprint qualifying and the sprint race. So at least a bit of a silver lining for him for him to take away from this weekend.
Absolutely.
Fernando Alonso in 8th again, better,
Better.
much better than the qualifying than his qualifying performance. That's much more like where he wants to be. Bro, Ferrari even more underwhelming in qualifying. 7th for Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc in 5th with Hamilton in between in 6th.
The
Pretty
Ferrari
poor.
was not on it. The Ferrari was
No,
not on
no,
it.
no, no, it wasn't.
They want nothing to do in Qatar, bro.
No, it wasn't. Um, and the top four: Oscar Piastri in fourth, Lando Norris in third, George Russell in second, and Max Verstappen in first. Got pole position, but he ended up getting
A one place grid
a,
penalty.
a one place grid penalty for driving unnecessarily slow in that bit. Yeah.
Which didn't compromise any lap times.
But there was beef between him and George Russell,
And
and
George
and,
Russell
and
for
Verstappen
no
lost all
reason.
respect. And Verstappen lost all respect for
And I
George
g-
Russell afterwards. He
I
said,
would I would agree with Max Verstappen because when Russell was going through, Russell was on a build-up lap.
"Yeah,
It was dangerous, but he wasn't on a
yeah,
timed lap. It was a build-up lap, so he could start his flying lap.
yeah."
It was so unnecessary, so unnecessary.
And that was the first of many harsh penalties to come to
I
because
couldn't
the penalties.
understand it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the move was very controversial. I mean, on
If it
social
was
media,
if it was a flying lap,
yeah.
I would even give him a 5 second a 5 place grid penalty.
And I
But
can't understand Max's reaction as well. I mean, to lose all respect for George Russell,
because
that was too
I
much.
think because Russell was being a complete bellend, to use a better word. He was being complete bellend
Yeah,
when in reality he wasn't even on a flying lap.
no.
So I'm gonna agree with Verstappen on this one. I agree with him.
And even worse because obviously George Russell got pole position ahead of him now because of that one place grid
Yeah,
penalty. Listen, for George Russell, that continues his strong streak in qualifying. I think throughout the season he has been the driver ahead of Hamilton when it came to qualifying, bro.
yeah.
But
He was.
obviously, that one place grid penalty overshadowed the qualifying, to be honest, because
Yeah,
it was needless. That for me was very needless. It was way too
pointless,
harsh
bro.
for me to get a one place grid penalty for driving unnecessarily
He
slow.
wasn't even on a flying lap.
No,
God
he
damn it!
wasn't.
I don't
He
get
wasn't.
it. I really don't understand it. Why? It was dangerous, but he wasn't even on a flying lap, bro.
I just don't want another Michael Massey situation with the FIA. But anyways, it's their decision, but it hasn't gone down. It
I
hasn't
don't get
gone
it.
down nicely at all
No,
within the fan base at all. So
I agree. I agree.
yeah,
I agree with
definitely.
Verstappen on this.
So, anyways, that is qualifying, and now we head into the race. Now, bro, to the contrary of the sprint race, the start of the race was very
Yeah,
chaotic. I mean,
pretty.
wanna
It
get
was
up to it?
pretty.
Yeah,
Well, practically everyone
yeah,
got away well. Especially the McLarens. The McLarens really did
yeah.
get away well. And on turn one, it became a three-way battle between Russell, Verstappen, and Norris. And eventually, Verstappen came out on top of the three of them. Pause. Came out on top. Came out on top.
Let's not.
And
Hey yo. Listen. Let's
I,
not get
I, I really
let's
don't
not
know.
get into DD territory here, bro. Okay, let's not get into DD territory here. But anyways, let's go. Let's keep on going.
I mean, technically he did,
Yeah,
but
but
no, did he?
let's keep on going, bro. Let's keep on going on this.
Well, he came out on top of the three, and but at the back there was chaos. At the
Yo,
back there
no,
was chaos
absolute chaos.
with Hulkenberg, Colapinto, and Ocon crashing out. And I believe
And
it came from Hulkenberg because he still had cold hard tires,
yeah,
and Ocon practically was scared to go to run into Hulkenberg and ended up colliding with Colapinto, which ends up being Williams' 16th crash of the season, bro.
and it even clipped Albon's the back of Albon's car as well. So Williams had a
Yeah, yeah,
horrible start to this
bro.
Grand Prix.
With Colapinto's crash, that's Williams' 16th crash of the season. I
And they
heard the
just can't
commentator
catch a
say
break.
it.
That's
That's
wild.
crazy. Do you
I
know how
mean,
much money they
they
spend on the repairs?
obviously, and that's gonna cost them even more
A
now.
lot, a lot. A
I
lot,
mean,
bro, a lot. And practically then after that crash, a safety car came out for about 4 or 5 laps, and then I believe there was another crash. There was another crash. I can't really remember. Not really a crash. There was a spin. There was a
yeah,
spin off. I
But
don't remember
listen,
who spun though.
listen. Going back to Williams, bro, it's either they like to go into destruction derby mode, or else they just have rotten luck at this point.
But destruction derby, but most of the time it's not even their fault they end
No,
up in crashes.
exactly. So I think
But how they are, it's like they're dummies, bro. they're like
yeah,
dummies.
definitely. Just to confirm, Lance Stroll hit the back of Alex Albon's car at the start of the race.
Yeah, and Albon, funnily
Sorry.
enough, on the team radio, as soon as he saw Albon in his mirrors, he said that he knew that he was gonna hit him.
No. He knew so
He's
he
like,
knew exactly what he
summed
was
it
coming,
up.
basically.
He summed it up, and then
Now,
afterwards, there was, of course, overtakes, racing, but then
actually, bro, sorry to interrupt you. Going back into the crash, that was the last we've seen in Esteban Ocon in Alpine colors, basically, because after
yeah,
the race, it was announced that Esteban Ocon was going to be dropped out for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and in his place is going to be Jack Doohan. So Jack Doohan is going to be making his 4-1 debut one race earlier, basically. And for
yeah,
me, this just feels very, very unnecessary, bro. I mean, why give him Abu Dhabi? Just give Esteban Ocon a final send off,
that's
and
one.
and just give Jack Doohan a fresh start for next season. So I
That's
just can't
two.
understand why. So I think they did this change because I think there is some real tension going on. I think, is it really that bad of a relationship between Esteban Ocon and Alpine?
Could
Could
be,
be, could be.
could be, but then did Alpine forget they're in a constructors fight? They're replacing an experienced driver with a rookie. Let's be real now.
Yeah, feels really odd though, man.
Didn't they forget they're in a constructors fight?
Yeah,
So they're gonna rely on youth instead of experience. It could work. It could work.
Yeah, it could.
It could work. I mean, we've seen it in the past.
Yeah,
But this was stingy, bro.
yeah, it was.
This was stingy. To me, this was a dickhead move from Alpine. They were
Yeah,
dickheads. And not Ocon being the dickhead is news to us.
Yeah.
It's news to us
Yes.
because Ocon can be a bit of a dickhead.
Yeah, he can. Absolutely.
He been a dickhead. But and it didn't come from him is news to us.
Yeah,
This was a dickhead move from Alpine. in
Yeah,
my opinion,
definitely.
bro. Nah.
Anyways, let's get back into the chaotic start. Also, bro, Hamilton was noted for a false start as well.
Yeah, he did. He
So
was.
yeah, this start was chaotic. Man.
Hamilton false start. Never thought I'd hear it.
Yeah, definitely.
Never thought.
After the race restarted, we had a couple of more chaotic moves with some of the drivers, bro.
Yeah, we did. But then afterwards, a mirror broke out
Yeah,
from one of the cars. I don't know if it was a Williams mirror or a Haas mirror, but
that's
that
where the
mirror
controversy
stayed.
started.
But that mirror stayed. No one noticed. I mean, everyone noticed, but the FIA took way too long to bring out the safety car. So much so that because of the mirror, someone hit the mirror. One of the Alpines, I believe it was Bottas who hit the mirror, and then
Yeah.
debris was all over the track, which ended up Lewis Hamilton and Carlos Sainz getting a puncture from it. Then the safety car came out.
It was very late.
Very late, very, very late. And then this is where more controversy came in, and this is the most of the controversy. They were waving double yellow flags, and when they get double yellow flags, you need to slow down immediately, like
Yeah.
on the spot if you can.
This was right around lap 30 as well, because prior to the debris, we saw some overtakes as
Yeah.
well. But this
Yeah.
was like on the second half of the race, basically.
Yeah, and Norris didn't slow down. He kept going
No.
on the double yellow flags. Hence, he got a 10-second penalty for ignoring the double wave yellow flags, which to
That is
me,
insane, bro.
is justified.
Nah, I
To me, it's
I'm sorry.
justified.
Nah, it's fucking ridiculous, bro.
If you don't slow down with double yellow flags, it's justified.
But
To me, it's justified.
No, listen. I think the penalty.
Because they do state if you ignore the double
Yeah.
waved yellow flags, the penalty will be severe. Actually, I'm surprised it wasn't even more severe.
No, but to be honest, I would have given like maybe a 5 second. I think a
but
5 second. I think a time penalty would have been more justified than a 10
I
second stop
think
and go penalty. That was harsh, bro. I'm sorry.
I
I
think
I, I have
I
to disagree
think
on that.
I think what they've done though is they gave him the 10-second stop and go penalty a bit, pardon me, a bit too late in the race.
Yeah, and that was even more.
That's where the controversy is lying on the most here, because to me it was justified.
Yeah,
But they gave him the 10-second stop and go penalty a bit too late in the race, so he can drop out the points and allow Ferrari and McLaren to battle out for the constructors championship in the last race of the season.
yeah, because for me that
Because that's where the controversy is lying here, bro.
yeah,
Let's be
definitely.
real.
Because for me, this feels incredibly. Sorry about that. This feels incredibly unfair because the 10 second stop and go penalty just feels it just feels incredibly harsh. I would have maybe given a time penalty after the race, maybe to make it a little bit more justifiable. But a 10 second stop and go penalty that pushed Lando at the back of the fucking grid. So he had to in just a few laps. He had to just charge his way into the top 10 to maybe get some points for the team,
Which eventually it did.
which eventually it turned out to be because he was literally. I mean, you said previously,
He got
bro.
2 points. He
He got
got a
that.
point for 10th and the fastest lap.
Yeah, because that McLaren this weekend was on smoke because
Yeah.
he not only finished that but he also got the fastest lap of the race. Obviously, he was on soft tires, so that helped the thing. But the penalty in itself, it's just it's just incredibly harsh for me to give a 10 second stop and go penalty at that point of the race because for me
That's what the controversy is. That was harsh.
this for me listen there may be recency bias because I'm a McLaren fan and obviously Lando Norris is our guy at the moment because in driving the team forward alongside obviously Oscar Piastri but uh, just for me it's just very harsh. For me if I would have been up there I would have given him a 10 second stop and go penalty. It would have maybe been a bit of a lesser harsh penalty than that. And going back to the debris, bro, I have no idea as to why they took such a long time in deploying the safety car because obviously that compromised Mercedes' race, Carlos Sainz's race, and also George Russell's race in general because prior to the safety car, he made a pit stop for hard compound tires.
Yeah.
And that obviously really compromised his race. Obviously, he was fuming and understandably so, and that took and that for,
Hence a
and
slow
that
pit
took
stop. Hence a slow pit stop for
slow,
Russell.
had a slow pit stop as well, and that took a couple of laps to just get that debris of the track. I mean, I had no idea as to why they took such a long time in notice in not notifying that debris. I mean Bottas' Sauber just breezed past that debris and got a puncture as a result as well, and that
And because of
was
the debris, both Lewis Hamilton and Carlos Sainz got punctures.
yeah definitely. I mean, obviously, FIA did a state. They shared their details behind the reasoning of some of the key decisions made. During the race, obviously, we had three safety car deployments during the race because we had a lot of retirements. But they eventually did. Sorry, there's a mosquito flying right near me, and I'm trying to kill it off. Basically, apologies for that. But they obviously explained their reasonings behind why the safety car wasn't deployed on lap 30, where the wing mirror was on the track. And they said the following, bro. They said that normal practice is for the safety car not to be deployed if there is a small amount of debris of the racing line. The extensive debris of the car hit the mirror and the punctures that occurred shortly after forced the decision on a safety car. I'm sorry. That is fucking ridiculous. I'm sorry.
Hold up. So, what they're saying is, if the track, how am I gonna put this? Doesn't the track need to be in a pristine condition in order
Yeah.
for cars to be able to race?
Yeah, exactly.
So what they're practically saying, if there's a couple of debris here and there, they won't mind. They'll keep the race going.
And even worse, bro, they said that a virtual safety car would not have been a solution as the cars remain spread out and there is not sufficient time for a marshal to clear the debris. Okay, in this point,
Yeah, well, listen, for Marshall to kill then red flag the race.
yeah, exactly.
Red flag the race, bro. That's
Yeah,
all they had to do. Red flag it.
And then obviously,
Because it was on the
yeah.
start-finish straight. It was in a pretty odd spot. Red flag the race. It's
And
not the
then
first time you've done it.
yeah, obviously. I mean, they red flagged the race on far less severe conditions, basically. Let's be honest here. But and they also furthermore they also said that the FIA constantly reviews its methods and processes and will analyze further the specific scenario and discuss it with the teams to see whether in the future a different course of action needs to be taken. That's all bullshit for me. I'm sorry.
Listen. They tried to give an answer, but what they really said is a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah,
In my opinion,
it's just exposition, basically.
I don't get it why did they let that slide like that, bro. I don't really know how.
Then the FIA talked. Then the FIA discussed Lando Norris's 10-second stop and go penalty. They said that the penalty was in accordance with the penalty guidelines circulated to the teams on February of this year, a month before the season started. Basically, they said that a double yellow flag is infringement is considered a serious compromise of safety, which is why such offences carry such a severe penalty. Um, and then, bro, this we missed out on it. The safety car lights uh, weren't working correctly during its second appearance. Basically, they kind of malfunctioned. So that was another blunder
That's
from
another
the
first.
FIA. Another
That's
first,
another first.
basically. So yes, a very eventful race, bro. For mostly for the wrong reasons with regards
Yeah.
to the penalties. I think Lando Norris won. It is harsh. For me, it is. I agree with the penalty, but the 10-second stop and go penalty was very harsh for me, in my opinion. And that's obviously that compromised not just Norris's race, but also McLaren's race. Now, obviously, Lando Norris he apologized to the team, but honestly, yes, I obviously he needs to take some responsibility, but the 10-second stop and go penalty, as I said time and time again, very very harsh for me to be given
To me, it was justified, and I'm not saying it's justified that it's thanks to his mistake. Ferrari are still in the constructors championship because I still do believe that the constructors championship is yours. I still do say that. I still do believe that. I said it before in the beginning of the episode. To me, you won the constructors, and listen, kudos to you guys. You deserve it more than us. You deserve
listen,
it more.
bro. I wouldn't close books at this point. We still have one more race to go. Bro, listen, anything can happen. Listen, bro, anything.
I'm not even.
Obviously, I
My
want
guy,
my
my
team to
guy,
win, obviously.
my guy. I have experience with supporting Ferrari. Okay.
No, yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree.
I know how this is gonna go. I already know how this goes. We get Ferrari starts building momentum. We get our hopes up,
Yeah.
and then we get back down to reality. Every
Yeah.
single season, bro. I know how this goes. For me,
But
congratulations to
been one of your
McLaren. To me,
this
you
has been
won
one
the
of your
constructors.
no. But listen, I think this has been one of your best seasons in a long, long time, bro. I mean, we haven't. I mean, number one, you've won quite a number of races this season. And number two, you were never.
I believe five.
I think you've never been
believe five.
in this position. Yes, yes. You've never been in such a chance of winning the constructors title as of now. So for me, obviously, your opinion is your opinion.
In a pretty long time,
However,
yes. In a pretty long time, yes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
still, it could have been a lot better,
listen,
in my opinion.
But listen, I believe that in Abu Dhabi anything can happen. We've seen it in the previous seasons. Anything can happen between Ferrari and McLaren at this
I'm
point.
saying this straight up. I'm very happy with second. Very happy with second. Hell, I didn't even think we'd get second.
Yeah.
I did tell you this.
I agree, but
I didn't even think we'd get second. So
No.
to get second in reality,
no.
I can be
Yeah.
a bit harsh on my own team, but I'm very happy with second,
Yeah.
honestly. And McLaren, for them to win the constructors, I'm very happy because I believe McLaren deserve it more.
We'll see what happens on Sunday, bro. I think that's
To
all,
me,
that's
to
all
me,
I can say.
To me, you've already won it. To me, you've already won it.
We'll see about. Hopefully, I'll be wearing orange come next Monday, so we'll see about that.
Yeah, which you will. Which you will.
We'll see.
I'm saying this straight up.
Now, bro.
Or I could be wearing red.
Exactly.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
Now, bro, we did have besides the 10-second stop and go penalty for Norris, we also had a double retirement for both Nico Hülkenberg and Sergio Perez. They just span. They literally just lost control of their cars
Yeah.
during the safety car period.
Just when you think Perez, bro, going into Q3, maybe he saved himself. Nope.
I mean, when you raise the bar so high and then you just go back to
From
zero.
from here to zero in a jiff, bro. From here to zero in a jiff.
Bro, other than that, yeah, I mean, we're going back
Hamilton.
to
I'm gonna say this. I was gonna mention Lewis Hamilton. He had a stinker of a weekend, bro.
Yeah, he had. Yeah, I forgot about Hamilton, basically. Yeah.
Hamilton, bro, he's dying to leave. He just wants to dip. He just wants to dip. I wouldn't be surprised if Mercedes pull out Hamilton for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Same what Alpine did with Ocon. But if that happens, Mercedes would lose a lot of respect.
Yeah, definitely.
But we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see, definitely. Yeah, I think, as I said, I mean, as you said, bro, Hamilton had a very woeful race. He wanted to retire from the race, and that for me he just wanted to pussy out from the race.
For you to wanting to retire from the race,
from a seven-time world champion, especially,
that you've given up hope.
Yeah, I mean,
listen.
We've seen it from. He's checked out, bro. Hamilton has checked out from the team completely.
Listen, we've seen it from Leclerc this season in Canada. He did it himself back in Canada.
Yeah.
Remember when they changed his tires too late to the wets, I believe it was, or to the hards?
Yeah, definitely.
He just gave up and said, "You know what? Just retire the car. I'm not even gonna try." And so,
definitely
similar to here as well.
But bro, I think we need to talk about Max Verstappen, because yes, he wrapped up his fourth world title, but he had a fantastic race. I mean,
absolutely, bro.
Especially considering his one place grid penalty, he had a fantastic race. He got the better out of George Russell. He looked comfortable throughout the entire race, regardless of the safety car and of the safety car deployments and the penalties that occurred throughout the race with the debris, etc. Fantastic race, and this shows even more why he fully deserves his fourth world title, bro. Because he's just a great driver in general.
He's a cut above the rest.
He's just a cut above the rest. Easily, I believe that's his 9th win of the season now. Not as much as last season, but it's still a lot of race wins, bro.
Yes,
9 race wins, and he fully deserves that win. Bro, we talked about Ferrari having a poor sprint race and a qualifying, but with the race it was quite different, because Leclerc finished second. Yes, Carlos Sainz had that puncture. Yeah, he finished in 6th, but considering that McLaren finished in 3rd with Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris in 10th. That, yes, I mean, we're going to go back to the constructors chit-chat. That, for them, is going to give them a big boost come Abu Dhabi for the final race of the season, because now the constructors standing is going to go down to the wire between
There's more chance that I have more faith in Leclerc overtaking Norris. It's 8 points.
But you need to show some faith, bro, to the team. I mean, I think you're being a bit harsh here. Let's be honest. I think you're being a little bit harsh here.
I really hope for. I would jump up and down like crazy. Yeah. Is the race this Sunday? Is the race this Sunday?
Yes, it's a Sunday. It's
this Sunday. I would jump up and down like crazy if it happened, but I won't be heartbroken if it doesn't. Yeah. I won't be.
No,
I won't be. Fair enough. I would love to, but I would got to say I'm gonna say it straight up. McLaren deserve it more. And we're here.
Balance of the season, yes, I agree.
McLaren deserve it more.
I think we deserve it a bit more, but
and we're in this position, even though yes, we got great wins, great results as well. Yeah. It's thanks to Sergio Perez's abysmal performances.
Yes, definitely.
Because if it wasn't for Sergio Perez being abysmal, neither us or McLaren would have been fight.
Yeah.
Both championships would have been long wrapped up.
Definitely.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
But Leclerc finishing second, very happy with him. Didn't have the best of weekends, but still made the absolute most out of it. And Leclerc has had some this season.
I think at this point, Ferrari, what they need is just to close the gap for McLaren at this point.
Yeah,
I'm not sure they're gonna be winning the Abu Dhabi race come next week, but at this point, they just need to close the gap between them and McLaren at this point. So
yeah,
Verstappen first, Leclerc second, Oscar Piastri in third. He had a solid race to be fair, but
yeah,
obviously that Lando Norris 10 second stop and go penalty really compromised our race in general. So
yeah,
it's his responsibility, obviously, for him to drive under yellow flags, under double yellow flags.
yeah,
Excuse me about that, but yeah, that's gonna stink for us. And obviously now the constructors title is gonna go all down to the final race of the season in Abu Dhabi.
yeah,
Um, George Russell in fourth, underwhelming for him. Starting the race in pole position, only managing fourth place. That pit stop with the hard compound tires really compromised his race, in my
yeah.
opinion. I think. Um, Pierre Gasly in fifth, bro. Great. Not.
Carlos Sainz going to get past him, who finished behind
I
him in
mean,
sixth.
listen, not as spectacular as Interlagos, but listen, fifth place for the
Yes,
Alpine.
another very good result.
That's 10 points for
And
the
listen,
constructors' title.
after the horrible, what you call it, after having to retire from the Las Vegas Grand Prix, he needed that.
Yeah, he absolutely needed
He
that. I
needed that
agree.
after having retired from the Las Vegas Grand Prix, starting in P3.
Yeah,
So him here finishing fifth and starting in P11, very
yeah,
well done. Very well done to
definitely.
Pierre.
Definitely, I agree. Carlos Sainz in sixth. Obviously that puncture affected his race massively,
Yeah.
but he
And
he
he couldn't get past Gasly, bro.
and he
He
couldn't
couldn't
get
get
past
past him.
Gasly. So obviously not a fault of his own, not his entirely his fault, unfortunately, because that
Not
for
at all.
me it shoulders down to the FIA for that. But yeah, sixth place at least he got himself into the points. Fernando Alonso in seven, and this is despite shouting in his team radio that his car was underperforming, reminiscent of the GP2 engine vibes back in McLaren back in 2015. So that was fun to see. So at least that's a few points in the back. Oh boy, Zhou Guan Yu in eighth, and that means that I have to do the drinks bet in eighth place
Let's go, man. Let's
because
go.
Sauber
Let's
have got their
fucking
first
go.
because Sauber have got their first points of the season, and it could have
Let's.
been a double points finish.
It could have been
It
both.
could have been a double points finish because Bottas was in 10th, but Lando Norris was so quick with the McLaren and with the soft because of that penalty that he breezed past him, which was no surprise. But bro, Zhou Guan Yu in 8th with the Sauber.
Listen,
Fuck the soft score for a second, but let's talk about Sauber at the moment. It's fantastic
listen.
for them.
Listen. First of all, I'm very happy.
Yeah, yeah.
Finally, they got some points. This was
Something to
their
cheer
best
about.
shot. This
Something
was
to cheer about, at
yes.
least.
To them, they could end the season right then and there, here and now. And listen, it came at a perfect time for them because it's the second to last race of the season. Pardon me.
Yeah.
So very happy for them. Thank God, much needed points. They finally got their first points, and because of that, Guan Yu Zhou got driver of the day.
It's a
And
good shout for driver
and
of the
to
day,
me,
to be honest.
and I think he gets my driver of the day as well, Guan Yu Zhou.
Hmm.
And
Go for anyone.
to get points for your team, and you're leaving the sport, it could be a great fitting end. It could be.
Yeah, because I think Sauber at this point, it's looking likely they're gonna finish rock bottom
No, they're gonna finish rock
in the
bottom.
constructor standings. But listen, this is they have finally they have something to cheer about at least because
Yes.
heading now into 2025 with a brand new driver lineup and even with a brand new management as well with
Yeah.
with Binotto and Jonathan Wheatley at the helm. This for Sauber was something that was a great day for them to get themselves in play. Even for Zhou Guanyu himself,
Absolutely.
he will be leaving the sport next
This is
week.
a win for him. This is a win.
So this is a win for him, and there's that for me. Um, so, finally, Zhou Guanyu has something to be happy about. That's great to see. Obviously, I will have to do the shots now.
On the
On the
hopefully we'll be meeting on the 28th.
of December, yes.
Yes, 28th of this month, and that's when he's gonna do the tray shots.
Yes.
I still need to see what shots you're gonna drink though.
Oh, we'll have to see.
Because listen, it could be anything. It could be vodka shots.
Yeah, it could be anything.
It could be whiskey shots. It could be
We'll see on the
aftershock.
day. We'll see on the day.
It could be tequila.
We'll see on the day.
It could be tequila. It could be anything. It could be anything.
We'll see on the day. We'll see on the day.
What? Listen, I'm gonna get Martina on it. I'm gonna get Martina on it as well. You're not escaping this. You're not escaping this.
No, we're not. We're not. Anyways, bro. We may do guys. We may do like oh, sorry about that. We may like do a video of drinking the shots come the end of the event. So we'll see about that. Yeah. Listen. I took the bet, and I have to take the bet now. So we'll have to we'll see on the 28th how that's gonna unfold. Probably I'm gonna be pissed drunk at that stage, but we'll see about we'll get to that.
And listen, no cheating. You gotta drink a whole tray.
Yeah. Anyhow, Kevin Manny, let's just change the topics and just continue on with that. Kevin Magnussen in 9th and Lando Norris in 10th. We're completing the top 10. For Haas, it's two points, but obviously Alpine getting 10 points is gonna stink for them. That's a big blow for them. So Alpine are gonna be the winners in that regard. And last, as I said, with Lando Norris in 10th with the McLaren. Bro, your driver of the day is Zhou Guanyu, but honestly, this could go on. This could be many picks for me. It could be Max Verstappen, it could be Ferrari, it could be Pierre Gasly as well. But I think with this one, I'm gonna have to agree and go with Zhou Guanyu for driver of the day as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Zhou. The fans did vote Zhou Guanyu. He's my pick as well for driver of the day.
Loser of the day. It could go to the FIA, to be honest, but honestly, I would be a bit of recency bias there with there.
Who could be loser of the day, bro? Who could be? I don't know who could be loser of the day, honestly.
It could be Ocon. It could be Mercedes. It could be Mercedes as well. It could be Williams.
Mercedes. I think it could be Mercedes. Could be Hamilton himself. I don't know, even though that's a bit harsh, but it could be Hamilton.
I'm gonna go with the FIA, honestly, bro. I'm shameless, bro. I'm shameless. I am fucking shameless, man. FIA for me. It is what it is, bro.
You just said you're not gonna go with the FIA because you don't want to show any biasness, and 5-10 seconds later, you go on and proceed to say the FIA.
I don't care. Honestly, I don't care.
Listen, with the farce they made with the mirror situation, I agree. To be honest, that's the only reason. I agree.
Dick of the day has to go to George Russell, I think.
Yeah,
I think
that was so unnecessary.
I agree.
A total diva, bro. A total absolute diva.
And the clown of the day is the Colapinto and Perez fiasco in the pits in the sprint race.
Yeah, that was a pretty hilarious moment and pretty embarrassing for Sergio Perez.
Yeah, definitely. All right, bro. That is it for the Qatar Grand Prix. If we look at the driver and the constructor standings, Max Verstappen obviously is going to be staying at the top with 429 points. He has grabbed up his sportswear title. The focus looks like it's going to be between Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc. There's only
8 points.
8 points between them.
8 points.
349 points and 341 points respectively. Oscar Piastri in 4th with 291 points. Carlos Sainz in 5th with 272 points. George Russell and Lewis Hamilton in 6th and 7th with 235 points and 211 points. Sergio Perez in 8th with 152 points. Fernando Alonso in 9th with 68 points. And Nico Hülkenberg in 10th with 37 points. Fernando, 1 point.
What? I didn't quite catch that, bro. What?
I mean, Fernando only needs 1 point to end the season with the funny number of 69 points. sorry. I'm just being absolutely.
That was slow, bro.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Very. Anyhow, constructor standings. It's obviously it's going to be between McLaren and Ferrari with 640 points and 619 points, just 21 points between them, and it could go either way in Abu Dhabi come next Sunday. Red Bull in third with 581 points. Barring a miracle, I think that's where they're going to be ending up, bro, in third place. Mercedes are definitely going to be finishing in fourth place with 446 points.
I don't think they can mathematically reach McLaren. No.
Red Bull.
Yeah.
No. I think second
Yeah.
is their possibility. I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, Mercedes in fourth with 446 points. Aston Martin in fifth with 92 points. It looks like they're going to be finishing in fifth place as well. Alpine in sixth and Haas in seventh with 59 points and 54 points. It's looking like it's going to be between those two teams. I think Alpine have the better chance at this point. Racing Bulls in eighth with 46 points. Williams in ninth with 17 points. And Sauber are going to be finishing in 10th, but they have 4 points in the bag. All right, guys, that is it. That is the end of this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to follow on our socials, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify. Our next episode is going to be the penultimate episode of the season, guys. It's the final race of the season where we finally reached the end of the season, where we're going to be heading to Abu Dhabi, and after that, we are going to be reviewing our season predictions, guys. Make sure to tune in on both of those episodes. It's going to be a cracker to talk about. Who's going to win the constructors, Ferrari or McLaren?
McLaren.
We're gonna see. You're gonna say McLaren. I'm gonna. It's gonna be wide open. We're gonna find out next Sunday. Let's hope we're gonna have a blockbuster end to the season, guys. And
it would be fitting, though. It would be fitting.
And it would be absolutely fitting. So make sure we're gonna be seeing that. And with that, we're gonna sign off and hope you have a great week, guys. Make sure.
Thank you very much and good night, guys.
Peace.
Much love.
Peace out.